What I laugh about is the contradiction in terms. They first say the administrative state is unconstitutional, and then what was it, like 5 seconds later, talked about getting around the constitutional rights and restoring them back to the people from the administrative state. So it's like,
Well, to them, it all goes back to being a constitutionalist or an originalist.
mm,
So until you have the structure under which the Constitution was written, as far as who's favored to be in power, nothing is legitimate. So in their eyes, what we live under is not constitutional. It's not within the framework of the original authors. And they try to hide behind that language, but you sit there and you
mm,
say, well, wait a minute. If you're a strict constitutionalist, if you're an originalist, what are you really saying? What were the standards of society at that time?
black people were not even people. That's one.
Black people were not considered people. We were property. The indigenous people were savages. They were not human either.
Right?
Women, I don't care what color you want to line yourself up under. Women had y'all were
All
things,
right. Yep.
accoutrements. Your job is to create more people.
Women and
That's it.
children are also property of a certain type.
Right. So you that's why we're doomed as far as a nation is concerned, because we're at the point where we fall in under our own weight. And our so-called media, they're so addicted to the dollars that they'll never actually ask the questions.
You know.
And the politicians are so protected in their bubbles, they don't have to answer your questions. And then we as people are so whatever we are that we're waiting for somebody else to fix it. It's always someone else will fix it, not me, you know? So we just watch it fall.
The funny thing about the Constitution is if you actually went by the letter of the Constitution, the forefathers actually did write something in there that says, and you need to update the Constitution every 7 years. So there should not have even been an originalist, because they would have stuck to that, there would have never been an original Constitution unless you just pretend like, oh well, we didn't update it in 7 years, and the
No,
seven
there
and
would
the
still be an original. There would
yeah,
still be an original. And their problem is that the wrong people in the wrong agenda have been making those amendments. You leave it to these people, they cut like 2/3 of the amendments out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because all they really want is white power, Christian power, which in America has become synonymous with white, and unfettered capitalism. So if you're on the top of that pile, great. If you're in the bottom or the middle, should have been born better.
Mm. And I got a challenge for people out there. Can you even name what the first three amendments do, let alone all the rest that were added?
I know I can't, because I've never respected the Constitution. So
Mm.
I know the First Amendment is a freedom of speech thing that we've gotten some weird, distorted view of what it actually means, because it doesn't mean what we think it means. We got
Right.
the Second Amendment that we continue to fight over. For me, here's why I say the Constitution isn't all that important to me, because it's never been for me.
Mm.
So we've always been operating on understandings. So I'm more interested in the understanding. It's kind of like if you hand me the Bible, I don't really care about what the people thought when it was written, because the Savior for whom the Bible was written had been dead for 300-400 years. So I'm still dealing with a bunch of people out of Europe that decided to start retranslating the Bible. And it was all done for political benefit. They changed put European names into the book, all kinds of things. But
Yeah.
the underlying messaging in the Bible, that I can still rock with. So the Constitution is like that to me. It's an aspirational document.
Mhm.
It can mean whatever you really want it to mean, and it's got enough flexibility that you can add to it. You can expand upon it. You can clear things up. But power concedes nothing. So they changed the Bible. They changed the Constitution. They changed whatever they want to. Whoever's in power, which has been the same people for the last couple hundred years, they just shift things. And so here we are. And now they're shifting it again because you'll even hear them say, what is it they say? We are not a democracy. We are a representative. What's that other thing?
Yeah.
Republic?
Republic. We're a representative republic.
Yeah.
We're not a democracy.
That's what I was taught when I was a kid. And it really kind of shocked me because they put it under a veneer of democracy, but then they tell you that, but we're a republic.
Mhm.
And then they start to explain more about the, what's the thing for voting the president? Electoral college.
Yeah, because that's what we miss, though. And see, we are a society running on understandings. We're not
Right.
running on of any actual knowledge. That's why you
Right.
have so many people who are afraid of the word socialism, afraid of the word communism, afraid of. You should be no more afraid of those words than you are of democracy.
Right.
It's and then stop confusing things. Socialism is a political structure. Communism socialism is an economic structure. Communism is a political structure.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same thing. But because we're not,
And nobody's been
at the time that we're taught it, we're not interested in learning, right? We're being taught it when
Mhm.
we're children.
And nobody has been calling for communism. Nobody that I know.
Nobody. The only people
They've
asking for
been-
communism are the people who are asking for this weird theocracy that they're trying to push. Because
Yeah.
this new Christian cult-like thing that they're trying to build, that's a that would push you towards communism more than anything else. Right? We pretend to be for all the people, but really we're going to tell the people what they can do. That's communism.